Hello, Mixed Nutcases. This is Nick Joss, and I've got an episode for you today. And to give you an idea of the kind of episode, let's take a listen. OG Mixed Nutcases know what that's all about. It is not a mini episode. It is a regular episode. And the last time we heard that on a regular episode was quite a few years. We're going to chat today. And it's just me today. There is no, hi, I'm Tech. There's no guests here. It is just me. On this show, I am always trying to celebrate what's awesome, finding the light, building community. And I want to do more of that, but this is going to be a little bit different. Today, the awesome thing is, honestly, the reminder that it's okay to not be okay. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I am not in crisis. I am not in danger. Nothing like that. Don't be too concerned. Just kind of talking about where we are in the world and what's going on. So some of you may have noticed that the episode delivery is kind of wonky, and we haven't had an episode for all of April. And I'm telling you right now, in Eastern time zone, it is technically May, but I have not slept yet, so it does not count as May. It counts as April. And so this is going to count. It's things have been hard. It's been really hard for me. The world is crazy, and not in a literal sense, although maybe. What I mean is, I keep waking up with a feeling of, oh, what fresh hell has unleashed today. And unfortunately, it's always something new. It's something mind-bogglingly stupid or upsetting, or just, how is this the world that we're living in? And it's been really hard. And I don't want to bring that kind of bummer to the show, but I think if I'm feeling this, we're all feeling this, right? We're all kind of in that state. And I don't want to be that toxic positivity where I'm only putting out the good stuff and making people feel like there's something wrong with them if they can't find the silver lining or the happiness. And so I'm trying to strike the balance here. And I'm hoping that by being vulnerable with you, I can help you feel a bit okay with how out of control you might be feeling. Because I am feeling a bit out of control. When somebody asks you, hey, how you doing? Right? I always hate that question, because nobody actually wants me to tell you the truth. You don't want me to say how I'm doing. You're just asking it to be polite, because those are the rules of society. But it's hard, especially when you're such a honest person and you have this literal mindset. And if you're neurodivergent, it tends to be kind of difficult. But, you're supposed to say good, great, whatever. Not so bad. How are you? Or not so bad in you, whatever it is, from Shorzy. But, I don't know. I ever since COVID, I've kind of got this, sometimes it's with a smirk, sometimes not. And my answer is surviving. And that's honest and true. But nobody actually wants to go into the details of that. Thankfully, during COVID, everybody kind of understood what was going on. But I feel like sometimes I get those looks like, that's a one way to answer that. I didn't want to hear that. But I think it's important to talk about the fact that we are surviving, right? Survival is a good thing. We're still here, and we're still here for the people that we care about. And while we may not feel like we're enough, we need to understand that everybody feels that way. And I think having this common ground can be helpful for people. So the world is upside down, and every day I just can't believe different things are happening. The world is terrible. I'm constantly, somebody says, oh, did you hear about it? I don't know. What is the next thing that I haven't heard about yet? Because there's just so many things I need to worry about. But then there's, I got my work stress, which it's not as bad as it used to be. Just because I'm in a better department, a better situation. My day-to-day is pretty good. There's still some high stress stuff going on. And some of that is what I place on myself, but there's a lot of big things going on. But I do think that I have a really good set of coworkers, and my manager is just awesome. I get a lot of empathy and support. So I mean, it's hard to complain, but at the same time, work is a stress. There's family stress, different things going on in my family and Tech's family, and other people that we care about, which I consider family. You don't have to have my last name or be raised in the same house for me to consider you family. Many of you listening to this may already know that you are an adopted niece, nephew, nibbling, whatever, sibling. Got a lot of those adopted siblings as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on there too. So both by the people I grew up with, the natural family or whatever you want to call it, and then the adopted, meaning the people that I didn't grow up with or didn't come from the people I grew up. It's hard to explain because, when you're from a family with legal adoption, then there's informal adoption. Anyway, point being, there's a lot going on, and it's on my side, it's on Tech's side. We have a lot of friends. There's stuff going on with our friends. I've had grief from these various situations and anticipatory grief, right? Grieving what's going on with people now and what might be coming. And that's really hard. And I have general anxiety disorder and panic attack disorder. I got diagnosed a couple years ago. I don't know, a few years. I can't even count. I'm on medication. Medication is really helpful, but it's an ever-present thing, and sometimes it's harder. And while my panic attacks are not always triggered by anything, sometimes they just randomly happen. They're a lot better now. Sometimes they can be triggered by real stresses. And there's burnout. Emotional burnout is definitely a thing, as well as physical burnout. And then I've basically been feeling like I want to hide. I don't want to, when I'm done with work or I'm done with my responsibilities, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to get under the covers, or I want to doom scroll or numb out and watch something stupid on TV or play a game or whatever. And I really want to emphasize here, I am not in crisis. I'm just human. And I think we all go through these things, and it's hard, especially when you're used to being the one that takes care of everything. You are the one that doesn't say no. I'm the one who's always helping other people. And it's also, I understand that how I'm perceived by others is different than maybe what my reality is, right? And I need people to understand that I'm not going to reach out and ask for help. And if you offer me help, I might even say I'm fine and I don't need it, because I've just lived so long unable to ask for that help. I was in a session recently, and it was, what is something that you could reach out and ask for help and, to help relieve your anxiety and stress. And I'm like, asking for help is what stresses me out, and somebody being able to see that I need help stresses me out. So the whole your strong friends, reach out to them, make sure they're okay. Yeah, you'll reach out to us and we'll say we're fine. I know it's not helpful. I'm not asking anyone to fix this. I just want to make people understand that it's okay if you seem, if the world thinks you're being strong, productive, upbeat, happy, and inside you're screaming, like, that's okay. You're not alone. I don't think I'm the only one. So like I said, no crisis or anything. It's just general blahs. And this has affected me partly, putting out episodes of the podcast, but also like my creative side, right? Usually, art is something that grounds me and helps me process my emotions, my feelings. And I'm not making art. I'm not even getting the desire to make art. Lent came and went, and I did a handful of pieces. I had plans and things, and I even started to introduce the new dragon in the household and did one drawing and I was going to do a whole triptych or multi-panel series where you'd see different parts of her because she's so big you can't get her all in one frame. And I didn't finish that, and I really wasn't getting what I needed on the days that I did get myself. It felt like such a struggle. So like, I don't know. Is it, I don't think that it's art block, right? Or, there's writer's block. There's also art block. I don't think that's what it is. I think I'm emotionally blocked. I'm emotionally overloaded, and I couldn't sit with myself. I don't think it means that I lost my spark. I don't think it means that I lost what makes me me. I don't think it means that I'm not going to create. And I have proof of this, actually. I know it doesn't mean that. It just means that I was struggling. I know that it doesn't mean that because in the past week or so, I've been sewing, which is creative. One of my gis I've been meaning to modify. I bought these 2 gis clearance. They were in a pile. I tried one on, said, yep, this fits the jacket. Doesn't matter. I'm not even going to use the jacket. I just needed gi pants, but it was cheaper to buy the whole set than to just buy the one. One jacket had a slight stain on it, and the other jacket, they didn't know what was wrong with the other one. Anyway, go home, hem the pants. And then I hemmed both pants, and then I went and wore one set of pants and realized these don't fit. The other pants fit, but these don't fit. Only to discover that's what the problem was. They had my size sewn into them. They're a size smaller. So they didn't, they fit. I could put them on, but it was tight. And you don't want to be tight when you're bending and kneeling and moving around on your knees. So that was a struggle. And the jackets are never quite good because they're not designed for women. They don't understand what we have hips. So I have like a custom jacket that I normally wear. So I kind of, shoved the jacket and everything to the side. Well, I got this idea that I could expand the pants that didn't fit. And I got this white elastic, and I cut a triangle into the hips, and I added the white elastic, and it's perfect. It's great. Because the waist fits, everything fits. It's just the hips that don't fit. And so that was awesome. And then I said, you know what? Let's work on the jacket. So I cut off the bottom because it's too long. I cut off the ends of the sleeves too long, hemmed those. And then I cut up the sides to add that extra triangle. And I added a panel in again around the hips, and, I added a little string on it so that I could tie the top closed. I wore it to class, and then I was like, okay, I got to make some adjustments. These armholes are too big because they're actually the elbow holes. So I changed that, and I said, okay, I need some of the slits, and I need to change this, and I need to change that, and this tie needs to move over. And so I was able to fix that. And then I had this old pair of jeans that I'd been meaning to turn into a weapons bag, and I'm figuring it out on the fly with my sewing machine. No table, no plans, nothing. Just kind of figuring stuff out and learning new stitches. And by the way, did you know that sewing needles go dull? Yeah, that's the thing. If your sewing machine is giving you a problem, change the needle. It might fix it. Anyway, so all of that was exciting and invigorating, and I'm proud of what I made. To me, that's creative, and that made me think, yeah, it's not over. I'll get these juices going. I'll break the silence. I'll be able to break out of this. So I am. And I think that starting tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to start that. We're going to try to get ourselves back into art. So that's kind of exciting to me. But just having that taste of creating something, and there was no pressure. There was no this is your art. It was just, hey, figure it out. If it doesn't work, you just throw it away. So that kind of worked. I need to get through these everyday struggle, right? I've been okay in the sense of I'm surviving, right? I'm in survival mode. I go to work, I get my job done. I eat food, dinner, I make myself lunch. Sometimes I forget, sometimes I work through lunch and I realize I haven't eaten, and maybe I'm not making the best choices all the time. I'm trying to. I'm definitely trying to. That's a big thing. But I I clean my house. I do my dishes. I do my laundry. Granted, I never get to laundry zero. Dishes zero may happen once or twice a week. But I get things done. I have deadlines, and I make sure that things are done just before that deadline. So those are done. I'm teaching my classes. I'm not letting anybody down in that regard. It's just I'm not a well-oiled machine. I'm not failing. I'm just I'm getting by. But it's a good thing, right? Like, I got my clean clothes. I'm not wearing dirty clothes. I'm not walking around the house stinky or leaving the house gross. I'm doing all the things. I'm showing up. I'm doing the things. I'm just struggling with, adulting and planning ahead and doing it in a way that is effortless. It's not effortless. It's a struggle. And the old, I could do it tomorrow. It's always lingering, right? Because I'd rather just check out. I'd rather sit on the couch and check out or kind of, sometimes I'm not even planning on it, right? You open up your device, you're on YouTube, and then you see those shorts, or you're on Instagram and you see those shorts. And as much as I hated shorts when they first came out, man, do you get a lot of information without actually having to invest too much time. And it is addictive. I kind of wish I could go in and say, let me use the app, but don't let me look at shorts, because dang, the shorts, the reels, the whatever you want to call them. This is why I can't go on TikTok. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but I definitely should not be on TikTok if this is a problem for me just on these other apps. So I really, I understand that sometimes that can be a coping skill. Sometimes the checking out is a good thing, but I feel like I need to kind of rein it in a little. But the good news, spring is coming. I say this, we had some really nice days, and it's been giving me some inspiration, but then today it was really cold and yucky out. But I believe spring is coming. And as the weather gets nicer, it means I can go for walks. So on the days I'm not going to Aikido, I can go for a walk. Just the other day, I went out and I took, I told my manager, I said, I'm going for one of those 5-minute vacations. And he said, take 10. We had discussed how just stepping outside, walking around your yard, that sometimes you need, that's enough, right? So he said, take 10. And I went for a walk around the block for 10 minutes. And it felt good. It felt good. And being able to do that now that there's not, 6 feet of snow on the ground, this is good. This will definitely help. Another thing is I want a do-over for my Lent art project, my daily creativity. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate May to that daily art, like a gentle reboot, right? I'm not going for perfection. I'm not looking at daily masterpieces, just kind of showing up for creativity again. And if I don't finish, I can stop. I can work on one piece over multiple days. I'll allow that. I need to give myself grace. I need to understand that I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be productive to be considered worthy. I'm really good at giving advice, by the way, and not taking it or not internalizing it. So I'm hoping by recording this episode, this will help. But I also want you to know that you don't need to be perfect. You don't owe productivity to anyone. Your off time does not need to be productive. Sometimes just being restorative is important. And there are days when I said my plan is to not do anything and to sleep most of the day. And I did, and it was good, and it's what I needed. But right now I want to give myself some more rewards, and I want to give back to myself. And so that giving back to myself will be creating art, that I will give myself that time and that space. And if I say, you know what, I'm just going to spend an hour, I can set a timer. I can work on it for an hour. And at the end of the hour, if I want to continue, I can continue. But if I'm done at the end of the, at the end of the hour and I got to get to bed, I'm going to go to bed. And that's okay. I've been showing up for the other things in my life. Let's show up a little bit for this. And I want to invite all of you. I know that Miss Melissa, she's got her note card stories that have been going on. You got to check out her feed. I think it's just Miss Melissa. Spelling is weird, but you'll find it. You just go to me. You'll see I follow her. This is a bathtub mermaid. Her note cards are coming out, and she's been writing. I keep reading these great little snippets and stories on Substack. I think it's Substack. I don't know. One of the places she writes at. She's been writing really good essays. I need to do that for myself. You know, sometimes when things are crazy, you need to be able to put all of that into something. So if there is something that you want to do, you know, your own May art, May writing, May whatever, May crocheting, May bead art, May coloring in a coloring book, May, you know, woodworking. I don't know. Whatever it is, May putting together miniatures, May miniatures. Oh, that would be fun. Whatever it is, go right ahead, and you don't have to do it every day, but if you want to share what you're doing and you want to send it to me, I would love to see it. I'll give you some feedback. I'll usually positive. I'll say how awesome it is. I love when people share stuff with me. It's always fun. I love to see what other people are doing. It helps inspire. Absolutely. You know, let's do this together. If it's even just May, I'm going to cook a meal once a week. You know, maybe you don't normally cook. Add that in and give yourself that creativity. Or May, I'm gonna, I don't know, whatever is creative to you, whatever it is that's gonna feed that soul, give you that spark of who you are. That's what I want, right? I want to talk about these small, manageable steps. So making art again. This is a small, manageable step. Recording this episode. Not waiting a month to record the next episode. That'll be another one. Does it have to be a full length episode? Maybe not. Maybe I keep saying I got to do more dinner and movies throughout the year. I don't know if I did Matlock, but the new Matlock, I finished season 2. That could be fun to talk about. It's not really like spec fic or anything, but it was fun. It was rewarding. Getting to that finale of season 2 was very rewarding. So it could be worth getting into there, right? You know, allowing myself to rest without the guilt, without saying, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything. And this is a big one, staying connected to people who care. So, right now tech is untasking. And, so this past weekend, I asked a friend out on a friend date. We got dinner, we went for a walk, we had nice long conversation, and I felt good. I wanted to go out to eat, and I had been shut in, especially because I was recently sick. I had, it wasn't strep, but I did get the strep test. I think it was just regular tonsillitis. It was not fun, and it took me a while to get better. And, I was like, I need to get out of the house. And so that was a lot of fun. And so this weekend, I am going to be seeing another friend that I haven't talked to in so long. And it's been probably like 6 months. And I feel bad. We're in the same city, 6 months, or close to the same city. I'm terrible at reaching out to people. Like, there are people that are within an hour drive of me that I have not seen in months, and I feel terrible about it. And I know part of it is the whole ADHD thing, where if you don't have a trigger or stimulus, you kind of forget to talk to people, but it doesn't mean that they're out of your heart. But also the other part is I've been hibernating. That's how I've been explaining it, like, at least to myself. I've been hibernating. And so we're going to get together. We're going to have a late lunch. And the whole point is to get together to talk, right? Like, everything's around food, but it's mostly just to give you a chance to talk. And I think I'm going to try and schedule some museum trips coming up. I've got some movies. I have another friend that found out, saw Beetlejuice 2, never saw the original Beetlejuice. So I think we need to rectify that and get some people over once the house is a little cleaner, and make food for people. That'll make me feel good. You know, things like that are going to be helpful. Now, I can't do them all at once. Healing isn't linear. It's little steps as you can do them, right? So that's what I'm focusing on. Just these little baby steps that'll get me kind of on the right track. And hopefully a month won't go by with it feeling like it was just 2 weeks. Because honestly, April went by so fast. I am dizzy. I cannot believe how fast April went by. I just, yeah. So I wanted to put this out. I wanted to talk about what it is like. I will say that there's definitely like this. It's not pressure any of you put on me, right? But there's definitely this pressure to be positive, especially when I made this show. The whole idea is talking about what's awesome, talking about the things that excite us. And if I'm not excited and I don't think, and I can't even think of what's awesome, it's really hard to sit behind a microphone and try to talk about that, you know, and I'm kind of worried about how I might sound, right? Like I said, I don't want to be toxically positive where it's fake and I'm hiding. But at the same time, I don't want to be that person where it's like, oh, there's Nutty complaining about her life. Meanwhile, what does she have to complain about? Right? It's trying to find that balance. And like I said, I mean, I'm great at giving advice. I wrote a whole article for company newsletter about mental health awareness month, which is in May, and all these great things that you can do, blocking off your time, preserving your breaks, all of this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, do I take that? Saying no. That's a big thing. I can't say no. I was told about a big project that they want me on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And I had to be reminded, yeah, but do you have the time to do this? I was like, well, let's talk about that, because I have a lot of hats that I wear, and I don't really say no because I want to help people. Like, that's my nature, is to help. And my job right now, my role in IT at my company is to help people. You know, it's enablement. I'm here to help people learn and help people do things and help people figure out the best way to do it. My other thing is strategy, you know, helping them figure out the best way to do it, help find the way to make their job better. And it's hard for me to say, no, I can't do that, because there's so many things that that I touch that I should be doing, right? Or at least that's how I feel. So it's really hard. And it's the same thing with family or, you know, that chosen family. I don't want to say no to anyone. I want to do it all. All right. So my favorite aunt, I don't think any of my other aunts are listening, but my favorite aunt is, known for being late a lot. And it's because she's always overcommitted herself, because she's always doing so many things. And I actually would love to be that aunt, you know, archetype, because that's what I hope my nibblings see when they look at me or when they think of me, even with like the craziness and the wackiness. But that I am somebody that is always there, always helping people and doing lots of interesting things. And she's involved in so many things. It's just the time management doesn't really work out. And part of that, again, for me at least, could be the ADD thing. You know, I'm learning more and more. I keep learning about ADD and ADHD and neurodivergence. And it's really funny because I was diagnosed as a kid. I was diagnosed, I think, in the 3rd grade, but really I only started getting services and understanding my diagnosis when I was in middle school. But I'm learning so much more because we know more now, but also how it affects you changes when you become an adult. And these coping strategies that you built, they might not work anymore because what is your issue now has changed. So one of the things that I have learned is I always knew that I had time blindness, right? Like figuring out how long something might take, or not that really. Time blindness, more like I'll be in the zone or I'll be working. I have no idea how much time has passed. I can't tell you, right? Which is why I end up staying up way too late sometimes, not realizing, because I'm working on something and then I look up and I'm like, when did it become midnight? How did that happen? But there's also this time optimism where when you're committing to something, you're planning things, you think it's going to take less time than it actually does, because you're thinking of just the task. You're not thinking about all the other things. So like, come up and record the podcast. Well, I need to talk for about an hour. Okay. So it should take me an hour to record a podcast. No. I'm not even talking about the editing. I'm just talking about the actual recording. Well, it takes me time to get up the stairs. Oh, and when I walked up the stairs, did I notice something that was out of place? Oh, I better put that in the right place. Oh, did I also forget that I might be getting a phone call? Oh, I better answer that phone call. Or did I forget that, I have a driver update, or I have this, or I have that, or whatever might happen. But there's all these extra steps that will be happening. The big one is like when I'm going to run out to the store and you think it's only going to take me a half hour to go get what I need. But you didn't plan in the fact that you need to get dressed, or you need to get your shoes, or maybe you got in the car and there's no gas, or all the other things that it takes. It's just around the corner, but you didn't actually plan how long it takes to drive. Those are the things that I mean when I say that I've got time optimism. I don't think about all of the extra time. Where was I going with this? See, this is the ADD. But so there's definitely a lot of that going on, and overcommitting. So my aunt always overcommits, and so that's why she's late to everything, because instead of saying I'm not going to be able to make it, she will squeeze it all into one day until you are in her house at 3 a.m. because you started much later than you initially planned, but you're not leaving because you still have whatever activity, or you're having a great conversation, or whatever is happening. And you know what? There are worse things. But I understand the burden it puts on others, and I don't want to do that. I don't want people to misunderstand. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say no. And I'm trying not to overcommit, but at the same time, I also don't want people to think that I don't care and I don't want to be there and I'm not engaged, and I am. And the thing is, when I say that I overcommit, there's so many people that I haven't committed to, that I'm not doing these things for, and I'm not reaching out, and I'm not taking care of them the way that I should as a good friend. And so I beat myself up, and it becomes like a cycle. But if I were to give my friend advice who is having these same problems, I would tell them, you need to forgive yourself. You need to allow yourself to have some grace, and you need to share with the people that you care about. You need to tell them what's going on with you. And that's hard. That's really hard for me. I mentioned earlier that, I have anxiety. I have panic attacks. It took me 40 some odd years to get help. And part of that is because I didn't know panic attacks. What I was having were panic attacks until it was observed by a social worker in a class. And she's like, and I'm apologizing. And she's like, you're having a panic attack. Why are you apologizing? And I had no clue. I know several people that, they think, they've been misdiagnosing themselves as having heart issues, but they're just panic attacks. For me, I'm crying. So I think I'm just being over emotional. No, I'm having a panic attack. There's so many different ways that panic attacks can manifest. And all we ever see is, like on TV, somebody hyperventilating. So it took a long time for that realization to happen. And it probably took another 10 years for me to actually get treatment for it. I just kind of sucked it up because, there's other people that have it worse than me. And I just felt like, I don't know, I'm making it up in my head or something. I don't know. Like I wasn't bad enough to get help. You know what I mean? Like I would only need help if it was worse. And that's something I do all the time. I don't talk about things because I feel like, other people, it's much worse, or it's more important for these other people. And I don't want people to think I'm trying to get attention, or maybe it's not as big a deal as I think it is. Maybe I'm just living in my head. And honestly, even if I was living in my head, wouldn't that be something I would tell a friend, that if I'm living in my head about it, then it is a thing? I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. So I finally went and I got help. And I was having, the thing that pushed me over the edge is I was having panic attacks in my sleep. Nocturnal panic attacks is what they're called. And no antecedent, no nothing. And I would wake up in a panic attack and just terrified. And when I told my doctor, she was like, "Oh, yeah, no, okay. We're going to deal with this." And wow, am I mad at myself for not going on medication sooner? Because what a game changer. There are so many things that in the past 2 or 2.5 years, however long I've been on this, that I look at it and I was like, man, I would have been having a panic attack right now, but I'm able to handle this. I'm good. And it's weird, like in a good way. It's really good weird. So my big thing here is I just want to tell you, like, if you're having something, go talk to a doctor. Like, I know depending on where you live, getting access to doctors is not always easy, but it's so worth it. And asking for help or accepting help, being vulnerable, it is strength. It is not weakness. I know this. I have to keep telling myself this because I forget this. And I know this, but I don't apply it to myself. And I think we all need to do that. We need to apply it to ourselves. We need to look at ourselves and say, what would you tell your friend going through this? Think of a friend and what would you say? And that reframing is something that I need to do a lot more often because I don't do it enough. I belittle myself. I minimize my struggles, and I shouldn't, and neither should you. And so what I really want you to take away from this is you may not be experiencing anything like what I'm experiencing, but I'm guessing you're experiencing something. Whatever it is, whatever your struggles are, you're not alone. You're not the only person feeling this way. And even if our struggles are not the same, you're still not alone because I'm here struggling with you. It doesn't have to be the same. We don't have to be productive to have value, right? We can be struggling and still be awesome people, and still be worthy of friendship, of love, of peace, of understanding, of help, of forgiveness. That's a big thing. I'm constantly trying. And this is one piece of advice I tell myself all the time. I need to forgive myself. And the real hard one. It's okay to ask for help. It's even hard for me to say that, but it is. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to rest. You don't need to be superwoman or superman or super person all the time. It's okay to rest. Even Clark Kent rests. Why do you think he has the Fortress of Solitude? Come on. And it's okay to be honest about where you are and tell people. Now, if somebody comes up to me, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to tell them I'm not okay. But if I'm sitting down and I'm having a meal with a really good friend that I trust, I can tell them I'm not okay. Being here with you is good. It's helping, but I'm not okay. And sharing that can be helpful. You don't have to share it with everyone, but maybe share it with someone, because sharing does help. And me being able to share this with you, it's helping. I'm definitely working through these emotions. I hope it is helpful for others. I hope that I didn't bum you out, but I hope that it just kind of made you understand me a little more. I want to thank everyone for being part of this community. This is a space for real people, right? We are not perfect. I have never claimed to be perfect. Tech has never claimed to be perfect. As a matter of fact, we're very self-deprecating. But none of our listeners are perfect either. We are all unique in our own way. And if you have any art or any small steps that you want to share, please share. I would love to hear about it. And, just be you. Hopefully you will be seeing some art on my Instagram feed pretty soon. And hopefully you will hear more episodes coming from me, and it won't be May 30th when I post the next episode. And hopefully you can make those connections with the people you care about to kind of be that spark or that step in the right direction. So let me know. Bye. Or at least until next episode. And let's thank our patient patrons. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Thank you to Jax and Rich the TT, our top tier big daddies. And then to our patrons of the arts, thank you to the Encaffeinated One, Susanna, Melissa, Ooh, Everyday Travels is now how they are listed. That's Hugh, but Everyday Travels, go check that out. See, that's what you can do. You change your Patreon to the name that you want to be called. That will give you like a little plug. I love it. And Kaylin. So thank you to those patrons of the arts. And thank you to all of our other patrons who are helping us raise funds. By the way, the latest donations are going to cancer charities. I will post about them. But yeah, F cancer. It has been hitting way too many of my friends. Some of them are going directly to certain GoFundMes. But yeah, thank you, everyone, because we're raising money for cancer or anti-cancer. Anyway, thank you to Shane, Selganor, Mike, Kinsey, Ken, Ian, Harold, Steven, Radical Geek, Greg, Zachman, Will, and Leopard. Thank you so much, all. The Nutty Bites podcast is produced by Nimlast Studios under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International Deed. What this means is you can share it, but you can't change it, you can't make money off it, and you need to link back to me, my site, and everything. We live at nimlast.org. There you can find links to social media, Discord, our Facebook group, Patreon, or you can call us at 347-NUTTY-42. We do not consent to having AI scrape, learn from, or repurpose the Nutty Bites podcast.